One. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 510, recorded on January 8th, 2025. On this week's episode, we review our 2024 predictions to see how we did, and we discuss what's in store for 2025. Jesse, to the intro.
Gentlemen, happy 2025. This is Nintendo Dads, and this is our first podcast of the new year. Hey folks, my name is Justin Mass, and I am your host, and I am excited to be here with three of the biggest internet Nintendo Dad geeks that I know, three of the coolest guys I love hanging out with, and we are back for our annual check of our predictions, plus making our 2025 ones, because ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you hear that or you see that, like water is flooding into the Nintendo Dad's basement because the leaks are just massive for the Switch 2, and we want to get ahead of it so that we can have a bit of fun in our predictions. But again, joining me, three of the coolest guys around the internet, in the dark, hiding by himself, I believe, podcasting from potentially a closet, ladies and gentlemen, the floating head that is Marty Estes. Marty,
that's me. I'm fantastic. We were on the way to record this episode, and literally Jesse was about to push the buttons, and all the power went off at my house.
That's the
I'm
power
currently
that Jesse
sitting
has.
in the dark here in Lexington with 134 other people, according to the website.
Yeah.
So we're having a grand old time over here.
That's a month of pent-up podcasting just unleashed in a button.
Yeah,
and so I'm sorry for quality. I'm sorry for everything. It's just I can't. It's a very Canadian Marty tonight. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fair. We appreciate you being here, and you say just powerless, I guess. I don't know. I wish all the power comes back to you.
The only way that you're seeing my face right now is because I brought up an email on my laptop screen that is white.
The nice glow of a blue screen to light the dim face. It is actually sort of frightening, I'm going to be honest, because that is all we see is your head.
I'm Andros. So this is what I'm cosplaying as Andros, not the podcaster, but the boss.
That's fair.
Star
I love
Fox.
That. That's such a maybe there's gonna be a Star Fox reference later today in our predictions.
True.
Who knows? But what a teaser for Marty! What a tease! Speaking of the biggest tease that I know, Jesse Waldak. Hey, bud, how are you?
Hey, I'm back. I was on.
Thank
vacation.
goodness.
I was on vacation for 2 weeks, and we took 2 weeks off. So yeah. So I'm trying to remember what all these buttons do again.
Yeah, apparently after 10 years of service, you get a long sabbatical that we were not aware of when we signed that agreement. And so good to see you back as well. Tim did an all right job. Like, he's a placeholder. Like in hockey, there's a backup goalie, and then there's like a backup, right? Which is when there's like the second tier goalie.
I'm just here for the check.
They have to like bring in like a college kid.
Yes.
Who basically pads. That's Tim.
Yeah,
he didn't even say that when I did the solo episode that I had to run from my iPad. He was like, Marty, you did a really good job.
Well,
Tim, you did a job.
I did a job. I'm just for the check. I'm just here to get paid. That's all.
Like Coach Z, you did a job.
Speaking of the gentleman who works the least hardest at Nintendo Dad's HQ, and is really just sitting around just for the paycheck, Tim, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Just ready to sit here and wait for me to do stuff a little bit, just a little bit of stuff. That's all. But I'm so excited for this, guys. I've been waiting, and I'm so nervous about this stuff. I mentioned to you guys that it was like Nintendo could drop stuff at any moment, and I was like, we need to get our predictions out.
Right? Yeah, you're 100% correct. And we are literally on the edge of and this is transparently, this is Wednesday, the 8th of January. Leaks are coming out through CES of schematics of the Switch 2, new accessories. We have seen that over the holiday break. We've seen like leaked Joy-Cons, kind of all this stuff.
Currently, one merchant just has a Switch 2 dummy model just sitting there.
Our friends at Genki. Our friends at Genki
doing that,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and I am sure the Nintendo ninjas right now are just like going absolutely.
I just hope they have a good lawyer.
Right, but we are on the fringe. We are like, I have Twitter notifications that come up on my phone, and I'm off of work. I have my phone down for work, and today I picked up. I noticed there was 10 notifications. I was like, it's happened. No, it's just a bunch of spam. But like, we are legitimately on Switch to watch day 8 of 2025. But we're excited to be here. Here's how this works, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're watching this on the video, behind Mr. Timothy Off, hanging from his bookshelf, is the Nintendo Dad's prediction Right Is You championship belt. Now, this was announced and revealed 2 years ago at our Nintendo Dads event, an Extra Life event, and our meetup in New York. And this belt ships around to whoever the winner is of the prediction. So what we did beginning of the year is that we made predictions about Nintendo, about the Switch 2, about the games that are going to come out. We come back an entire year later and we score them, and whoever the winner is the champion for the year. We have a photo ready for them. They get the belt sent to them if they want to send it across borders, right? Stuff like that. And they get that honorary title of that individual. After that, we then begin our 2025 predictions, and that is what we are going to be doing today. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, buckle up, get yourself ready, grab a soda, grab a beer, grab a bag of chips, whatever you need, because we are going to run down the 2024 Nintendo Dads predictions, crown a champion, and go straight into our 2025 predictions, because Nintendo is literally waiting on us to finish the predictions before they announce the Nintendo Switch 2, and I feel like we're in double overtime. So
I
let's
kind of
get
feel
it
like
off.
maybe they already have, because that's why the power's out here.
Oh, it just blew up the servers so much.
Maybe it was just too powerful for rural America.
Much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump into our 2024 predictions, starting off with Mr. Marty Estes. We're going to go through some of these predictions, and we're going to say yes or no. Marty, you start off with a prediction saying Nintendo will have a version of the Switch 2 that does not have detachable Joy-Cons. Sir, that is a big no, because we don't know. He then says that Metroid Prime 4...
There's going to be a lot of that.
He then said Metroid Prime 4 will be the last first-party game for Switch and the first-party game for Switch 2 cross-generational. We don't really know that either, do we? So we're going to say no. Sakurai is stopping his YouTube channel due to a game that he's working on, and that will be announced and released in 2024. Gentlemen, we have given Marty half a point here. Why is that?
That is because that Sakurai did stop to work on a game, and but the only problem is we didn't know what it's for.
It wasn't announced or released.
It wasn't released.
But it's for a game.
It is. He did stop it to work on a game.
So we're going to give you a half point, Marty.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Probably need it.
Absolutely. Next, Marty claims that Zelda 2 will get a remake. It deserves, and it will be released in 2024. That did not happen.
I wish that happened.
Tim.
Sorry, just to go back to the first one that you mentioned, Nintendo will have a version of Switch 2 that does not have detachable Joy-Cons. That was marked as spicy. So to remind everybody of the rules, that was a different thing. But yeah, that was going to be a spicy. If he got it right, he would have got 3 extra. Would have got 3 times the points. Yeah. So we have those spicy things.
I really wish that it had been spicy.
Yeah, and then we got the anti-spicy ones too.
Is that what we called it? I forgot what
poison pepper.
The poison peppers. Poison peppers. Yeah. And we'll get to that in a moment. But yes.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're like, wow, he is just missing, swing and a miss. Well, he finally heads up to the plate and, ladies and gentlemen, starts knocking some out of the ballpark. We're going to run through some of the ones that Marty got right. Marty claims Pizza Tower will be released on Switch in 2024. It sure was. I think it was September. Deku Tree Lego set will be released in 2024. That was also September. And Nintendo will state that a Mario sequel is in the works. And, of course, they did as well. Those were 3 correct predictions by Mr. Marty Estes. Well done.
Pizza Tower came out August 27th, 2024. Duke, the Deku Tree came out September 1st, 2024, and Mario movie announcement was March 10th, 2024.
Fantastic. Now, let's talk about a couple other ones that you might have got a little wrong. Game Boy or GBA controllers will be available for the NSO subscription to purchase. Microsoft,
and that was that was the poison pepper. So he lost a point for that.
And then Microsoft will have a day -1 supporter of Switch
Day 1
2.
supporter.
Day one supporter of Switch 2. We don't know that for sure, although they have been claimed that they are one of the publishers for the Nintendo Switch. I would say that this could be a prediction you could easily roll over to 2025, Marty. And then you get crazy. Then you just get mad with power and craziness, and states Nintendo will embrace traditional online voice chat with the Nintendo Switch successor.
We don't know that yet.
Here's the thing. I feel like I'm going to be right on all of these, and it's just that they got delayed a year because they pushed the console back a year.
Now, folks, Marty can absolutely basically drag and drop the ones that he got wrong into his 2025 if he wants. We'll see that as we move there. A couple other game predictions that you had as well. Mother 3 will release in North America. That did not happen, but wishful. Nintendo will return, to smartphone apps in 2024. They did not.
But they did. Because they updated Pocket Camp substantially, making it a full paid-for game.
They did.
Although I will say those 3 predictions that you're reading did not count for points.
Oh, you're right. They don't. Oh no.
So I'm not. Look, I'm just being honest. I'm being fair and honest.
Yep. I love that. It's a good point, Marty. Good point. And
but they did,
gentlemen. They did. You're right. I'd give if these were pointing, I'd give you half a point for that one.
That's okay.
And ladies and gentlemen, what I believe is probably the most incredible prediction that anyone had in all of 2024, ladies and gentlemen, Marty Estes comes in hot and says, Hatch Tales will miss the March 28th release date, and he hit that so far out of the park. It's a home run. Bases are loaded. Everybody comes home, and they win the World Series. Because
can I get a point for that?
I will give you a point for that. I will executively give you a point for that. That was incredible because Hatch Tales ended up being September, October,
August or
something, like just ridiculous.
Not only did it miss one day, it missed 2.
Right.
And then grew a subtitle.
Yeah. So after everything is said and done, Marty, your 10 predictions brings you to a 35%. Just before we transition to our next folk, Marty, where's your head at? How are you feeling after this?
I'm feeling better. Since you gave me the extra point, I feel better. Otherwise, I would be, it's predictions.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
That's fair.
I'm not Nintendo. We're just pulling these things. Wait till you hear mine this year.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, if we all
are we going to go for the worst points this year?
The worst points award? Well, speaking of the worst points award, if you think Marty was bad, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Mr. Jesse Waldak. Because I as I was going through this, I don't even know if you understand the point of the game. It is to actually guess what Nintendo is going to do, not what they're not going to do.
Ouch.
And the intent is to get points. This isn't golf. Lowest points don't win. You need to be right. And spoiler alert, you suck at this game.
I do. And I've always sucked at this game. That's just not new.
Oh, yeah. What hurt the most was that poison pepper too, because it was on a spicy call.
Yeah.
So that's a minus 2 points.
Yeah, we're gonna start revealing this, but Jesse ends up with negative numbers. Like that's where I'm just gonna pull the Band-Aid off on that one.
So how did we do this? Did I picked the 2 that were spicy out of mine, and you all picked which one got poisoned?
Yes.
Okay,
at least one of us, picked.
Because Yeah, because
we didn't all pick on one person, so we spread the poison peppers.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, every one of us has 2 spices and 1 poison. Yeah. Sometimes they overlap. Like in this case, it overlaps, and I'm going to lose 2 points because of it.
Justin and Marty, I don't remember who picked yours and who picked mine, but they were strategically picked ones that were spicy. Where you and I, when we picked between Marty and Justin, did not think of that and just picked something else that was, which is fine. They were very strategic.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, we were threatened by Jesse's incredible guessing skills. If we'd only just let him to his own devices, he probably would have just self-sabotaged. Let's start off with Jesse's first one, which I actually think, I know we have a negative here. I think.
Oh wait, I missed one. I should give myself credit for. So
I don't.
All right, that changes my score.
All right. Well, let's start with this. Jesse's first call out was the Nintendo Switch successor will be announced at the end of March 2024 after Princess Peach Showtime releases and before the end of the fiscal year. So it will be announced by the end.
So I pretty much gave it a 2-week window.
well, I actually read that as by the end of the fiscal year for like this year.
No, so I meant a 2-week window.
Y'all can hear I'm literally trying to help him get a point.
Yeah.
Like, no, I only meant the 2 weeks. I was okay. Whatever then, Jesse. Okay, so Jesse, thanks for being honest there, pal. Well,
it's not going to help me.
No, it's not going to help you. So that was not true. The next one he said was the Nintendo Switch successor will be released in the traditional mid-November slot in retail at a price of $399 USD. Sorry, sir. No. The next one, a new 3D Super Mario Brothers game will be announced with a Nintendo Switch successor. That might be a copy paste. You might want to move that to 2025.
It is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next one, which I thought was a great call out, a new 2D Zelda game will be announced in 2024. And of course, Echo of Wisdom came out in September. So well done there, Jesse. Pokemon's annual game will be the remake of Gen 5, Pokemon Black, and Pokemon White. Ooh, no. Next one, the 6th.
You were gonna need to get that soundbite from was that Family Guy from the Maid?
For
the first time in a while, there was no annual Pokemon game.
Yeah, 100%, right? Didn't see that one on the bingo card. This Nintendo Switch successor will have the ability to allow games playable on the OG Switch to be enhanced in some way without the complete necessity to buy a new copy of the game. This is interesting because they have confirmed it's backwards compatible for OG.
Right.
Yeah.
We just don't yet know if they're going to be enhancements yet.
I'm going to give you a half on that one because the ability to play backwards compatible games, they did confirm that from OG to Switch. Whether there's an enhancement, we don't know, but there is definitely a backwards compatibility. So I would say that. Now, what we don't know is it cartridge? Is it digital? I suspect it's both, but we're going to find that out probably in the next couple of weeks. Dragon Quest III HD 2D will be released in 2024. Jesse, you got that one right. Similar to Atari 50, a game bundle of Intellivision games will be released in 2024.
I think that should actually be a half. I think that should be a half point because they did release the DLC that was about the Atari versus Intellivision, and they had an Intellivision game pack in there. So I think it should be a half a point. It wasn't a whole separate game, but it's a DLC.
I hear your argument, Jesse, and I am a.
You mean Tim?
I hear your argument, Tim, on behalf of Jesse.
Okay.
And I am a generous judge, and I will say yes.
Okay.
Half of a half.
I'll graciously accept it.
A quarter. Next one is Call of Duty will come to the Nintendo Switch in 2024. That is incorrect. The Switch successor will support achievement trophies at the system level. No.
That should be a carryover, too.
Yep.
I hope you're carrying that one over. Okay.
Part of your not counted predictions. Persona 3 Reload will be a Switch successor game. That was also incorrect. Jesse, that ended up. Now, we've made some adjustments here. Because of the number one, that was a spicy and a ghost pepper that we had here, you ended up in the end with 10% correct.
Right. Which before those halves, it was, when I first tallied them, it was -1. So
Yeah.
1 is better than -1.
100%. Jesse, as you reflect on your 2024 predictions, I just want to check in and just like ask, how much do you feel like you've let us down?
Oh no, I think I met your expectations. You were expecting me to do poorly, so
yeah. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the number one employee at Nintendo Dad's HQ. All right, Jesse Waldeck does not disappoint us. Yes, 100%. Well done, Jesse, and I'm hoping that we're going to see some of these roll right over to 2024.
Well, half of them will.
All right. So we're moving on to our next one, Mr. Timothy Off. Now, for those of you that don't know, Timothy is the current 2023 reigning champion. He has the belt hanging. Actually, hold on a second. Aren't I the champion, but we didn't mail it?
No, that was the year before. No, that was the year before. I was the winner last year.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Justin was 2022. You're 2023.
Yes.
Yeah, because you were like, oh, do you want me to mail it to you? And I said, judging by where we stand right now, I don't think that's a good idea or a good financial decision.
Yeah, I had 2021. That's how come I got the belt first. And then Justin got 2022. Then I got it back in 2023.
Yeah.
So that's where it stands.
All right. Well, let's start counting down what Tim has here. Tim, you start off with the Switch successor will have a new gimmick that no one is expecting. That is a broadest water is wet statement I have ever heard. But ultimately,
you guys accepted it.
I know we accepted it, and you were wrong.
That's correct. That is one that will carry over.
Yep. All right. Okay. Next one, Metroid Prime 4 trailer is teased and will drop in 2024. Teaser will drop in 2024.
Trailer / teaser. Yeah.
That happened, and an amazing video. Next one, Metroid Prime 4 will not release in 2024. 100% correct. And that was
it was spicy.
So that was like a double.
That's a 3-pointer.
3-pointer.
Yeah. Another Metroid game will be released in 2024. Does include Zero Mission.
We got Zero Mission.
We got that. We got Zero Mission.
At least one of these will happen. A port with updates for Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, not both. A new or remake remaster, Zelda 1 or Zelda 2, maybe even a Link to the Past or a remake. And if a new 2D game, it has something from another developer like Capcom or an indie. Okay, what did you say here? And how?
So I was saying.
So but I took that as one of the 3 bullets, and the third bullet is we got a 2D Zelda game made by Grezzo.
At no point does he say Zelda.
Yeah, it is.
Everything has been Zelda. He just didn't specify Zelda in the third bullet, but everything has been around the Zelda franchise.
We didn't type it out, but when listening and watching that video, I did say Zelda.
I would like to see the evidence, sir. I would like to see that brought up to the court. I believe this is critical.
You just don't want to admit he's gotten 6 points.
We do not recognize your authority in this court, Mr. Estes. Please go back to the Twilight Zone that you live in right now, you headless monster.
I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
I will accept it that you were meaning Zelda. That is fine. Do not scour the internet for that clip. I see you doing that right now, Tim.
I actually already have the link to that.
Don't even. Oh, you do? Do you have it ready?
I do have the link to that.
Let's pull it up then. Let's hear it.
Well, let's see if I can share this here.
Do you know where it's clipped and everything?
Yeah, I have the video. I had the link.
He knew. He knew there was going to be contested.
Or if you want to give me the link.
Because when we watched it.
If you want to send me the link, I can probably get it up faster.
Okay. I'm trying to copy it. Hold on.
Good audio.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is how serious we take the Nintendo Dad's championship belt here, is that at times you have to be a stickler, you have to be a judge. You have to
You're
go
gonna
to
have to go to the
TMO.
field.
You have to be a ref. You have to make the call, and you need evidence. And the current ruling on the field is no point. We're going to go back to TMO and double check. And if Tim has evidence to support that it was in relation to Zelda being referenced, we will award the point. We wait with bated breath on the edge of our seat as he continues to pull up this critical turning point. Some would say the TSN turning point of this championship conversation regarding our predictions. What a contender! What an absolute contender! Let's go to the tape now.
Oh my gosh, this stupid thing. All right, here's the link. And the time, it got the timestamp.
Okay, so right now Jesse's going to pull this up. We're going to watch it live here at live as well.
Open to be told no, Tim, you can't do this.
You're hoping no?
No,
He's
I'm
open,
saying
open.
I'm open to you guys telling me.
I'll just tell you no right now.
Because
okay, go ahead.
My prediction is at least one of these will happen. That's how I'm going with it.
At least one. Okay, well, let's see.
At least one of these
Let's
things will happen.
I think it depends on what these things are.
Port with updates of Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, not both. Or new or remake remaster of Zelda 1 or 2, or maybe even a Link to the Past for the remakes. Or if a new 2D game, it is something from another developer like Capcom or an indie.
Your statement here, Tim, is if anything Zelda happens, you get a point.
No, my statement is that it's a port or a new / remake of the port is specific to Wind Waker or Twilight Princess, but not both, like people are predicting.
So if both, then it's a no.
That's correct.
Okay, but
saying
then if it's a new or
if it's
a game, it will be from another developer, a Capcom or an indie, or if it's a remake remaster, it'll be Zelda 1 or 2.
So to
or
get
maybe even Link to the Past.
So to get a full point in this, like Tim, is this two bets? Is this two predictions or one?
It's like one of these things will happen. At least one of these things will happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the fact that you are narrowing it down to specific games.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
It's specific to Wind Waker or Twilight Princess. So if both come out, I don't get a point. New or remake remaster of the earlier Zelda games. But if it's a new 2D game, it'll be something by another developer. If it's a 2D game by Nintendo, I don't get a point.
Okay. All right. I'm okay with it.
Justin said he's okay
that's
with
Justin saying I'm okay with it.
Can we go to the tape for a second here and validate who is the developer and for Echoes of Wisdom?
Grezzo.
Grezzo is the developer.
So you're saying that is another developer that is not Nintendo?
Correct.
Does Nintendo own Grezzo?
Checking.
No.
No, Nintendo does not own Grezzo, according to Google AI. But the Japanese video game developer has worked on many Nintendo games.
Yeah, Yeah, you did say it. Yeah, you're an ass. Yeah, okay. So because you said it, and it's you arguing with you? Okay, fair enough. All right, we'll let it be. He gets the point. We will let it be in relation to a Zelda game. That is fine.
All right, Tim's at 6 points.
Tim is at 6 points. So let's now head over to one of the ones some more that he did get wrong, because I think that's important for us to recognize here. Silk Song drops this year. So wrong. Wrong. 2024 celebrates the anniversary of Earthbound by releasing Mother 3. Nope. And that was a spicy and a ghost pepper all at the same time.
Yep. So that's where I lost 2 points.
You lost a lot there. Yeah. A new Mario sports game will be released in 2024. You were wrong there. And a prediction that I feel like you come back to every year, and I'm hoping it makes a 2025 return as well, is your desire deeply for a Nintendogs game to be announced and released in
Yes.
2024. And then it says,
but
here,
I said I won't predict it anymore.
I won't predict it anymore. And so you are pulling yourself out of that betting
pool. It's going to be done.
And then the last one you have here is a Zelda game for NSO, maybe Four Swords or Four Swords like, or maybe something like Mario 35 or a 99 game.
Yes, and we got Zelda game.
Oracle of Ages, right?
No, we got the Link to the Past and Four Swords was announced for Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass on June 18th, 2024, and is available now for members. Okay. It's a port of the Game Boy Advance game, and we played it, multiplayer game, on Friday Night NSO.
Okay, all right. Well, let's go over a couple ones that you said did not count, but the predictions can sometimes be fun. You said a new Nintendo store will open in the U.S., not a theme park. Interestingly enough, in 2025 or 2024, it was announced that a new Nintendo store is actually being open. It's in San Francisco. It is not yet, however, open.
There actually was too in this. I know it's not a point, but there was a new store that was not open in a theme park, but it was opened outside of the theme park on the boardwalk or whatever they call it there at Universal Studios.
Interesting.
So it is outside the theme park. You don't have to have a park pass to get into the store.
Yeah, I'm not.
So if that
doesn't matter.
Oh, come on.
Next one we're going into is this was like pulling from the Duffy. Conduit will be remastered, or the devs who created the Conduit game will have a new game. That is such a deep cut from a Wii game back in like 2004.
I want it so bad. I was trying to
understand you.
I was trying to manifest it.
Which takes skill since the Wii released in 2006.
Right?
Yes.
Next one is Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be announced for the new Nintendo Switch successor. Tim, I'll be interested to see if you end up pulling that over the 2025. And then your final one that you actually did get half points for, Xenoblade Chronicles X, to be announced and released in 2024. It was announced in 2024 with a end of March 2025 release date. After all the math and all the calculations, the scoreboard, the TMO call, and going back to our method here, 50%, 5 out of 10 is what Tim ends up with. Tim, I want to sit and just talk to you about where your head's at now going into the 2025 season. You bet a lot on Metroid. You for a man who loves the franchise as much as you do, you bet a lot that it wasn't going to do certain things and that it was really relegated to 2025. How do you feel now?
It feels good to be right. Tim was right. Tim was right. Tim was right.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I don't, that's something. That's something to be said. All right. Okay.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that brings us down to the final person. Some would say that this individual has been a predicting savant in the past years for Nintendo Dads. Some would say he is the 3-time predicting right is you champion, and they're not wrong. Some say that his predictions are wildly simple, and yet clinically they work.
What's wrong with you?
Will, in 2024, I take back what is rightfully mine, take the championship belt, put it around my waist, and continue to reign as your 2024 champion for predictions. Ladies and gentlemen, let's break into the final round of predictions. 2024, here are mine. Number 1, I said the Nintendo Switch successor would be announced and released in 2024. I was wrong. I then said that the Nintendo Switch successor will support OG Switch cartridges.
Okay. Well, we know that is true, even though it hasn't physically happened yet.
So we've got that one.
So I'd say a point.
Okay. Thank you to the wonderful Jesse Waldak for that. I didn't feel like it was going to be an argument. I appreciate that. Next, Metroid Prime 2 Remaster will be announced and released in 2024. I was wrong. A new DK platforming game will be released in 2024. I was wrong. It was a remake and it will be released in 2025. Metroid Prime 4 trailer drops but won't release in 2024. It will end up being cross-generational. Moving on to our next one. Xenoblade Chronicles X is to be announced and released in 2024. It's renounced, but will be released in 2025. That is a half point. Final Fantasy VII Remastered to be released to the Switch successor in 2024. I was wrong. 3 games that were previously Xbox exclusives will to be released on Nintendo Switch consoles in 2024. I got 2 out of 3 right, with Pentiment and Grounded coming, so we got half points there. And then, as if the Nintendo gods smiled upon me with a game suggestion you all thought I was crazy for, that none of you voted for, and I can't believe it. I should have put down the spiciest takes on this one. A new Mario Party game will be released in 2024. And
that was a good call. Yeah.
It was a good call.
And then GameCube will come to the NSO. That was incorrect.
And you lost a point for that one.
Lost a point for that because of the spicy peppers. I had some other not counting for predictions. Call of Duty, Somerville, and Star Fox being released in 2024. After all was said and done, the points counted. Who is our champion? Well, I, Justin Masson, received 30 points, meaning that your 2024 Nintendo Dad's prediction champion is you, returning champion, retaining his belt, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Timothy Off. Congratulations, Timothy.
Thank you very much.
Well done. We'll just take a moment, sit in the winner's circle with you. As a past champ, speaking to a champ, what's it like to be back in this space again? Where's your head at for 2025? What do you think really got you the win?
The Metroids, my favorite game. And hopefully Metroid Prime 4 lives up to the hype and will be my favorite game this year. But my gut feeling, because I rewatched that our video for predictions for 2024, and I said my gut feeling said that it was not going to release in 2024, and I got to listen to my gut more often.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, it's
not just the bubbles.
You said that like he had a medical condition. It's like, what got you the win? Oh, the Metroids.
The Metroids.
Got a case of the Metroids.
Got a bad case of the Metroids. I need to check my gut sometimes.
Yep. And just to let you guys know too that and I mentioned a little bit about it in the pre-show, or actually there's no pre-show, but that before we started the show, that I calculated all of the votes that we got from the community on all of the stuff, and it was going to be used as a tiebreaker in case there was a tie. And I wanted to let you know that, Marty, you got the most votes for your predictions. So you would have been able to break a tie there if necessary. And then we also had people vote for their spiciest ones, and nobody got any of them right. Nobody got any of the ones that people thought were the spiciest. Like, for example, Marty, yours that got the most votes for being the spiciest was the Game Boy GBA controller.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse's was the successor will be announced at the end of March 2024 in that 2-week time period. That was his voted spiciest. Justin, yours was the GameCube will come to NSO. That was your spiciest. And the one mine was voted the most spiciest by the community was the Mother 3 release.
Okay, nice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Again, congratulations to Tim. And just for the rundown of how it ended up actually slotting, Tim coming at number 1 with 50 points, Marty coming in number 2 with 35 points, myself coming in at 30 points, and 4th place, Jesse, with 10 points. That's it.
That's more than zero.
Congratulations. That's more than zero. We are now going to transition with an event. Yeah.
Justin, sorry. That makes me a 3-time champion now too.
It does, yes.
3 times.
Before we know it, you're going to be up there with like the greats, Ric Flair, John Cena.
So that means next year next year is, either
there's a lot of weight.
Jesse and Marty could be first time winners, or however time winners they are.
Okay, hold on a second. You know what? We were talking about betting before. If Jesse ends up being the champion next year, I will personally pay for a pizza for his family. All right,
okay, let's put that in the notes here.
Yeah, put that in the notes. If he wins, I will pay for a pizza for his family.
All right.
Marty, you were close. All right, Jesse's always at the bottom. All right, so don't give me that. You were second this year.
All he has to do is predict Picross, and he's gonna get it.
Well, we'll see what happens. All right. So, Jess, you got some sweet, sweet transition bumper music for us?
I forgot to set that so you'd be able to hear it. But
no, we heard it at the end. It's okay. We're okay. We're okay.
All right. But it'll be clear in the recording.
Okay. Lovely. Lovely. All right. So we are going to jump into our 2025 predictions. It's going to be snake draft session. We're going to start off with our fourth place individual, Mr. Jesse Waldak. We'll head over to myself. Then we're going to head over. Actually, I apologize. We're going to do it in the order that we actually have on the document, which is Marty, Jesse, Tim, Justin, and then I will have two, and then we'll go back up the line as well. I would recommend, I think there are probably some common guesses that we are going to have. And what I mean by that is we've probably all documented when we believe it will be announced, when it will actually be on sale. So I wonder if we should sort of get those pieces out of the way at the top of all of them. Go ahead, Tim.
I did not make that prediction because I found out in the rumors what it potentially could be. And that, again, taking it with a grain of salt.
Rumor.
So I understand, but that I felt would be an unfair.
I suspect you've been cheating most of your way into this championship belt, and that you have information.
What was that? What was that, Marty? What was that Eddie Guerrero would say?
Cheat to win. Steal.
Cheat. Yeah. There you go.
All right. Well, that sounds interesting. Marty Estes, let's start with you. What's your first prediction for 2025?
All right, here it is. Number one. Probably something you've heard before. Metroid Prime 4 will be the last first-party game for Switch and first-party game for the Switch 2.
Okay.
Copy and paste from up above.
It is absolutely copy and paste.
So for clarity on that, Marty, so if Nintendo releases another game after Metroid Prime 4 that is
first party.
That is first party. That is on Switch 1 and Switch 2. Does that count?
Here's how I would couch that is that Metroid Prime, unless it's on both systems, I'm still right.
Okay.
Would you agree? I mean, I want to be fair about it. That's the way I interpret it, is that it will be the Breath of the Wild for Switch 1 and Switch 2.
Right.
Okay.
You're saying it's the last published game by Nintendo for the Switch. And it doesn't matter where it falls for the Switch 2, but it'll be also on the Switch 2.
Yes.
Okay.
And there should be no more Nintendo published Switch games after that.
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay. Jesse, we'll head over to you for your first guess.
Okay. I'm going to tweak my when I think it'll be released. I'm giving it a release window of spring 2025, so late March through late June, with a retail price of $399.99 USD.
That's a smart tweak. I like that.
Okay. Tim.
ARMS 2 will be announced. ARMS 2 will be announced.
Wow.
Since we're doing snake draft, I get two. So I will start off with, I believe, the Nintendo Switch 2 successor trailer announcement video will be revealed, or whatever it is, before the end of January. I believe it'll happen that back half of January. And I believe that it will be available for purchase in early May 2025.
Is that your first and second, or is that all still part of one?
First and second.
Okay.
We're going back up the line. Tim, what is your next prediction?
Okay, you said the first half of May, or what range?
I said early May. I'd say between beginning of May to the middle of May.
Okay, I'll say the first half of May.
Yep.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Another game prediction. A new Animal Crossing game will be announced in 2025.
Okay. Jesse.
Okay. Then recycling from last year, the new 3D Super Mario Brothers game will be announced with the Switch successor.
Okay.
Smart move. You get two, Marty. Get two.
Okay, here's number one. I'm going to swing away from Switch 2 for a minute. We will not hear any more about the Zelda movie in 2025.
Okay.
And number two, new Joy-Con sets for Switch 2 will be $89.99 or higher. I don't like it, but I'm afraid it's going to happen.
That's a good one.
So
I like both of those.
I wrote it down as new Joy-Con sets for the Switch successor will retail at $89.99 or more USD.
Yes.
That Zelda one, I was trying to figure out which way I wanted to go with that, and because I was on the fence too much, I decided to step away from that prediction. That's a good one. I like your stance on that. Because I could see it both happening, both, we could get something, but then I kept thinking, well, you got the new Mario sequel coming out in 2026, so yeah.
Right. So my next prediction is again recycled from last year, where Switch games could be playable on the Switch successor with enhancements in some way, similar to what PlayStation 4, 5, and Xbox One series does.
Nice. Mine is Kid Icarus Uprising will be announced in 2025. I figured I'd just paste it for you, Jesse, so you don't have to catch up.
I get two, and I like being a little bit more specific, a little less vague as some of you all, to actually, get some value into these things. New 3D Mario game will be coming out in October.
October. Okay.
October. Metroid Prime 4 will be released in September.
Interesting. I would have thought it would be the other way around, but
nope.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm using some data and history to determine where those spots are.
Mario in October does have history.
Yes.
Yep.
Nice.
Power's
back.
Yay!
I'm going to swap over while you guys make your predictions, and then you can catch me at.
Okay.
Go ahead, because it'll take a few minutes for my internet to kick back in.
All right. So SimCity will come to NSO this year. That's more of a, nice. I'm trying to manifest it. SimCity, sorry, let me say SimCity for the SNES, just to be clear. Welcome to the NSO in 2025. That way we're not, nobody has to worry about me assuming or everybody's assuming anything.
Now, is that you saying the SNES version?
The SNES version.
Okay. All right.
So it would be better if I say
I missed it.
SNES SimCity will come to NSO in 2025.
Okay, this one is in contrary to one of Marty's. Nintendo will continue to publish games playable on the original Switch after the release of the successor through the end of the year.
Okay.
I'm kind of, not part of the prediction, but I'm kind of thinking maybe still a monthly cadence, but every other month. Okay, here's a Switch game, here's a Switch 2 game, here's a Switch game, here's a Switch 2 game.
Okay.
Kind of, I'm thinking there will be games going into the end of the year, still playable on the original Switch.
Okay.
Published by Nintendo.
Yes.
Okay.
Does not have to be developed by Nintendo, just published by Nintendo.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to take a minute here to do two that are what might be considered boring, mainly because they've already been made by other people. But I swear I had these on my list before you made them. So the first one is Mario will return to 3D in 2025.
Sounds good.
And the second one is Switch 2 will retail for $399.99.
Okay. All right. Here. So I'm gonna, instead of cherry picking games, I'm gonna say that there will be at least 5 games announced in 2025 that were on PlayStation 4 or 5 or Xbox One or Series for the Switch successor that also is not releasing for the original Switch. So, at least 5 games.
Justin, you're mulling it over. What do you think? Is there something that needs to be said here?
I would like a little bit more granularity in some of those selections. That's pretty broad, because you can have indie games that are currently on Xbox and PlayStation that are now over on Switch.
Okay, I'm referring to like AAA titles.
Okay.
So non-indie games.
All
so
right.
I'll
So
add that
let's
in there.
Put some AAA, and maybe we can use an example. Like, what would be an example of this?
Final Fantasy VII.
Okay. Let's put some context around that.
Okay, this is how I have it worded now. There will be at least 5 AAA games announced in 2025 that were on PlayStation 4 or 5 or Xbox One or Series XS for the Switch successor that also is not releasing on the original Switch, such as Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I'm fine with that, yeah.
Cool.
Welcome back, Marty.
Thanks. Glad to be back.
Timothy.
All right. So again, I'm still on the games bandwagon. This is where my brain was going. Like, what games are we going to see on the Switch 2? And I am saying that we will see not necessarily GTA 6, but GTA Online will be available for Switch 2. Switch 2 only. I guess Switch 2 in 2025.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're on the games bandwagon. I'm curious if I want to just insert my games here. If I want to, you know what, I will not insert my games yet, because I've got 2 other outside of sort of the traditional things that we are, in some ways, countering to some people's statements here. I get 2 votes, or 2 for the snake draft. We will get first images or leaked set photos of the Zelda movie. So whether it's or like some first about the Zelda movie, we will get some information about it in some way, whether formally, like here's a teaser shot from like a the Hyrule Shield or something, or set leaked photos. You will get some information about it.
I've worded this as initial images or leaked set images of the Zelda movie will be made public.
Yep. Okay. My next one is that the OG Nintendo Switch will pass the PlayStation 2 lifetime sales in Q4 2025.
In which quarter?
Q4. So it's being very specific. It has to be
calendar quarter.
A calendar quarter between October 1st and December 31st.
Okay. That you said that was the Switch will pass PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Timothy.
Alrighty. I'm gonna just jump one of mine because you mentioned numbers. I'm gonna jump into one here too and save this one for later. Nintendo Switch 2 will sell over 15 million units, and I'll paste this, Jesse. Hold on one second. Nintendo Switch 2 will sell over 15 million units worldwide by the end of 2025 calendar year. 15 million units worldwide.
They'll require on us probably to have to wait an extra couple of weeks before we could actually know if you won that or not.
Oh.
Just like I'm okay with those numbers. I'm just saying we won't.
Those numbers would be announced in February.
We won't get it till February 1st. So I would need to know by what's the
well,
November.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that date range. Just we can mark it as potentially unknown until the next month.
Especially if it's close, but unless they really blow it out of the water, then we'll know.
Right.
So, okay. Yeah, if you guys are okay with waiting. And we can also project too by that time. We can always say, you know what, Tim? Yeah, this it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So, all right.
In fact, I had literally the exact same prediction in my list. 15 million by the end of the year.
Okay. Nice. All right.
All right, my turn?
Yes.
All right, we'll do two here. The first one is this. Nintendo will somehow botch the NSO transition to Switch 2.
Ooh, interesting.
Again, a prediction I don't like making, but the track record exists.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay. I hope not either.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting one to see how that pans out.
And number two, let me just swing for the fences here. There will be a Halo game on Switch 2 in 2025.
Ooh, I like that one. I like the sound of that one.
Releasing?
Yeah, well, in 2025.
Okay.
All right, that's cool. What are you hoping for, Marty? Any particular Halo game?
I think that
the Master Collection.
I think we could potentially see the Master Collection.
Okay.
Master Chief Collection.
That would be awesome.
It will be easy ports. Good use of the online.
Nice.
Grab a lot of eyes first thing. And that would this is not part of the prediction, but I would say that would be a way of showing that Microsoft is on board from the very beginning, much akin to my prediction from 2024 that Microsoft will be one of the developers first up for
the day one developer type thing.
Day one developer.
Okay. Nice. What you got, Jesse?
Pokemon Legends ZA will be the only Pokemon console release for the year. So I'm saying no Gen 10. I'm hoping they let that bake another year.
Yeah.
And I specified console release because if they throw in another 2 or 3 mobile garbage, I don't care. That's not part of my prediction.
No Pokemon Puzzle League cafe, whatever they're called.
Though I was, I am kind of worried possibly of maybe them putting out something in NSO, which would count. But I'm thinking, no, I like how this is worded.
Okay.
Legends only. That's it.
Very cool. All right. So I'm going to do another Switch 2 one. This is going to pull from what I had mentioned last year. Switch 2 will have a new gimmick feature no one was expecting. Now, Justin, you were making some comments about that one. Do you want me to be more specific on that?
Yeah, I'd like a little bit more specificity.
So I've heard rumors around what it could be.
All right. So, let me see. The Switch 2, this is, again, I'm carrying this over. So I had this on here, and is the idea, I think I had some examples before. Oh yeah, I have it right here. I said something about a second screen or no screen. It would be a controller. There would be possibly a camera, or they're going to bring Street Pass 2 over.
Those are great examples, as long as we can kind of give some context, right?
Yeah, and I think also I know we saw a rumor about it, so I don't want to add it as necessarily one of my picks, but I think something was said about a second IR camera on one of the Joy-Cons. So I'll say,
because the first one was used so extensively.
Right. I'll say that it could also involve the Joy-Cons. Maybe there's some new gimmick with the Joy-Cons.
Okay.
So I'll put that in here.
Could be, and they just won't tell you for 6 years.
So I'll put that in there while you're doing yours.
The Switch can have Bluetooth headsets now?
Right.
Right.
Randomly after 3 years.
So I'll say camera. We know there's not a second screen, so I just won't even put that on there. So camera. I'll say an HD microphone.
I think that sounds funny.
New gimmick on the Joy-Cons. And it will not count. I'll put this on here too. It does not count. Although it probably would have last year, but not this year because we already know about it. It does not count the magnets.
Okay.
So does that help clarify?
Yep. That's good.
Okay. All right.
I get 2. We will get new Legend of Zelda Lego sets.
I like that prediction.
We will. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I originally was thinking we might get a Metroid one, but I don't think so. But I think Zelda. My second one, Xbox will have games releasing on the Nintendo Switch right away as a publisher. 2 of these 3 games are going to be available within 2025. So 2 of the 3 following: a Gears of War collection, Sea of Thieves, Call of Duty. 2 of those 3 will be available in 2025 from Xbox on the Nintendo Switch 2.
All of those excellent choices, sir.
Thank you.
I especially like the Gears of War collection because I never got to play Gears of War. That would be awesome to be able to play that. And I know I could, but the Xbox and all the ways you can play, but my primary system being Nintendo, that would be nice to have it on there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So another Switch 2 Prediction is the Switch 2 will have a new app for your phone that will allow for new connectivity options not seen on the previous app. Sound good?
Yep.
Okay. I want to say most games for the Switch successor will be priced at $69.99 USD.
Oh.
Ugh.
I don't like it, but that's where I think we're going.
That is a good one. I completely forgot about the $70 price point. Very nice, very nice.
Okay. So here is my next two. Switch 2 will launch with Mario Kart 9.
All right.
And number 9. I guess this is my next last prediction. Mario Paint will be re-released on Switch 2.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Can I ask, is that part of the NSO or is that like a new Mario Party? Or sorry, new Mario Paint?
Yeah, both.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe let me modify it this way. A Mario Paint game will be released.
Okay.
For Nintendo Switch 2. On the Nintendo Switch 2.
Okay.
Good one.
Okay. I'm going to go with what didn't work last year, but GameCube games will be added to NSO.
I hope.
Tim.
All right. The Switch 2 will have accessories that utilize. I'm trying to think of what I was having a hard time trying to be more specific about this. So the Switch 2 will have accessories that'll utilize the USB-C ports. Now I know we had accessories that use the USB-C port on the Switch, but we saw rumors that this potentially will have 2 USB-C ports. So I had initially like if there isn't a camera, maybe there's a camera attachment.
Like the GameCube camera?
Yeah. So like.
Or you can have your second screen on it.
Yeah, exactly. GameCube. Like Game Boy camera.
Oh, you're putting that on my line.
Oh, sorry. Take that out. Put it online. Accessory for the GameCube camera or second screen. So along those lines, something that is very Nintendo-y, you know, to where it's like it makes no sense to do that, but Nintendo's going to do it anyways.
That's the Nintendo way.
Right.
This is the way.
What do you guys think of that?
Okay, I'm good with that.
Okay. Jesse, what's yours?
I think we're going down to Justin's last two.
Right? Oh, is it Justin? Oh, that's right.
Sorry. Okay. So this is my last two, right? Nintendo was very clear in November when they were discussing the future of the Switch that their desire was to strengthen relationships with software publishers. A lot of software publishers understood probably too late that Nintendo Switch was a place that you wanted to get games on as soon as possible. What we will be shocked by in 2025 is the amount of third-party support of games being brought over the Nintendo Switch that would traditionally beforehand been AAA games found on the PlayStation or on Xbox. 2 of the 3 following games will be revealed, announced, and available in 2025 as part of the Nintendo Switch first year launch window. Those games are Elden Ring, Final Fantasy Rebirth, and Monster Hunter Wild. I will also put in a bonus, also maybe an Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, that all tracks.
That is if Ubisoft doesn't get bankrupt first.
Yeah, well, that's a different story altogether.
So just to clarify one thing, I was looking at potentially making a prediction on using launch window as a term as well.
Yep.
And I clarified that I found out that the launch window is within 6 months of the release of the system.
Yeah.
Do we all agree on that? 6 months. That's the launch window.
I think that's a fair.
That's fair.
Window.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So in that 6 month range, these games will hopefully be available for the Switch.
Correct.
Okay.
And my final prediction, I've got other predictions, but I'm trying to figure out like which one is going to be the lockdown. I'm really struggling with this one. I'm going to tell you what my heart and gut says, and I think I'm going to go with it, despite it.
So Justin, last year you did the same thing. You weren't sure what was going to be your number 10 and which one was going to be your not counted one. Do you want to name these two things and then kind of decide then?
All right, so I'll put them out there, and we can. Right, so my first thought is Metroid Prime 2 Remaster will be coming to the Nintendo Switch in February.
That's a carryover.
My next one is a new Donkey Kong platformer will be announced in 2025, but come out in 2026.
Okay.
But I'm struggling because the Donkey Kong game coming out in a week from now, and it's an HD remake. But Donkey Kong's getting a lot of love, right? We've had the Donkey Kong Universal, right? We could argue he was a very popular character in the movie, right? Like it feels like we're in the season of Donkey Kong.
Never mind. Sorry.
Right? I gotta go for the Big Ape. That's going to be my guess. And then I will put my Metroid one as a doesn't count, but I suspect it's going to happen. Is that fair?
Sounds good.
Okay. I've also got some other ones for the suspect later, but we'll do everyone's final rounds.
Let me ask you this question. When do you think they'll do Metroid Prime 3 remastered? Because there was speculation. I like the idea of having them separated and remastered, all of them. But there was also the rumor or speculation that they would do Metroid Prime 2 and 3 as, dual release or unremastered, just as is. Potentially, maybe even come along with that GameCube prediction you had last year, coming to NSO and those two games coming over there. Although 3 came on Wii, so never mind.
Here's sort of the problem I've painted myself into is if I believe Metroid Prime 4 is September and if I believe that this is Metroid Prime 2 is February, then I have to sort of find a middle ground for what Metroid Prime 3 would be.
Yeah.
Is Nintendo ballsy enough to release 3 Metroid games in 1 year? I don't think so, which is why I end up moving my Metroid Prime 2 into the not counted predictions.
Okay.
Because I think it happens, but then I don't know where 3 comes into. But I also don't know if they're going to be ballsy enough to do that. But also, if you don't do that, that feels weird. 1, 2, 4, right? So the only spot I could think of is that February is actually a double pack. To your point, it's a light remaster, or you do 2 in February and like 3 in May, June. But again, 3
like their Nintendo Direct is like here's Remastered 2, but not just that. That's going to release, February. Coming in March will be Metroid Prime 3, remastered.
Like, so it just
or
feels
however
long
they did delay. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like 3 Metroids in 1 year is a little bit not going.
Well, it's not surprising though, because look what they're doing with Donkey Kong.
Yeah, they're like, and so like that's sort of the history of it, though, right?
Yeah.
But I would argue like Metroid Prime 4, like playing the other ones is really valuable before playing this one potentially, right? And so you get kind of acclimated to the series. And so Donkey Kong is much more like, you don't need the background history.
True,
right?
But going along,
bananas and barrels.
Going along with what you're saying about having 3 Metroids in 1 year, they just reminded everybody, and also releasing all of these NSO Donkey Kongs along with the HD version.
The only way I could see it happening in like the alternate universe, Tim, would be that NSO gets a GameCube and a Wii emulators, and they're both dropped on those consoles.
Like GameCube would be part of regular NSO, and Wii is part of expansion.
And that's where they show up.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah.
That would sort of be the only way I think that they would end up doing that.
Yeah. That would be interesting. It would be interesting to see how they play out. That was one of the things I mentioned in that question block you gave us. You asked about what was your disappointment in 2024. My disappointment was that they didn't release the remastered of Metroid Prime 2 in 2024. So, yeah. All right. Good one. I like it. For me, my last prediction is going to be they're both crazy, but let's go for crazy. And I have to do this, probably again manifestation type thing. Possibly a tier. I'm not saying it's part of the idea. Well, let me just say what it is, and then we can speculate.
Yep.
EA Play will be an available subscription through NSO.
Interesting.
Wow.
So now that could be
finally bringing NHL 94 to Nintendo platform.
Exactly.
That's all we need.
That's all we need. So, but I mean, because I was thinking about, let me try to predict that we're going to get some EA Sports games, or Madden and NHL and all those type of things. But I was like, you know what? Why not have EA Play? Why wouldn't Nintendo allow that? Because PlayStation Store has it. You can get the subscription of EA Play through there. Xbox has it, along with their Game Pass.
Doesn't Luna also have it
Ultimate
like that?
Yeah.
Know.
So why?
No,
if
Ubisoft.
If Nintendo is getting some sort of percentage from it, why not? Why not allow EA Play subscription? Obviously, especially if you have to have NSO to get it.
Interesting.
Right.
Why not? So I have to go with that. And since you got your counter in, I'll get mine in as well. The not counted prediction, because this is wild. And I see valid points of why this would not be done. But Switch 2 games will work on the Switch. The cartridge games will work on the Switch, but will be downgraded.
Interesting.
You can actually play Switch 2 games. You can play them. You can put them in on your Switch, or you can put them in the Switch 2. But each system will react differently in how they display and how they run.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. My last one, it's a bit wordy here, but to try to explain what I mean. But NSO will have a new set of tiers that are required to subscribe to for the Switch successor at a higher price, but will still include everything available from the original Switch NSO, plus new successor-only content.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually. I don't think that's very hard to explain.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm not looking forward to paying $100 for a family, but that's what we're going. I think
It's where it's exactly where we're headed.
Do you have a not counted prediction, Jesse? No.
not yet. If I come up with something, I'll mention it. But I pretty much really had to scrape last minute just to come up with that last one.
Fair enough.
Okay, I have a final prediction, and I have 2 not counted.
Nice.
That's okay.
Yeah, of course.
All right. So here it is. Last one. New Star Fox game.
Nice.
That's it.
Just
3 words. New Star
that's
Fox
it?
game. There
All
will
right.
be a new Star Fox game. And then my 2 non-counted. Number 1. I'm gonna save the dumb, silly, funny one for last. But the first one is Nintendo will not acknowledge the results of the online connection test in 2025.
That's great.
Do not acknowledge me.
And the last one is 2025 will be the year of Earthworm Jim's revival.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Like Earthworm Jim. Wish we could get another Earthworm Jim game.
Okay.
Cartoon was funny too. So, hey.
I forgot about that online test.
Well, yeah, what was that online test again? What was
he signed an NDA?
Oh shoot, that's right.
The ninjas are lurking. They're here.
That's right. I forgot about
saved
that.
you from that because I'm not having ninjas show up at Nintendo Dad's HQ again.
Nope.
For all the stuff that you guys do. All right, Marty. Any other final ones that you want to add?
No, I'm out. That is everything.
Jess, anything you want to add?
I've got nothing.
Tim?
I don't have anything to add, but I know we got to pick our spices and our spicy poison pepper.
Yeah, I have got a couple of games that I think are gonna be announced.
Okay.
If we can add them.
So to your not counted predictions?
So not counted, but I believe that they will be announced as Nintendo Switch games in 2025.
Okay.
Because they are not currently announced as 2020 or Switch games. Hades 2, Stage Fright, which is the new one from the Overcooked developers, Moonlighter 2, Hi-Fi Rush, Split Fiction, which is the one from the folks at Take-Two, Joseph Ferris's company. Which is
I hope that does come over.
And the new Prince of Persia game done by the Dead Cells folks. I think it's just Prince of Persia something. Can't remember what it's called.
Did I know there was another game coming? I don't remember.
It was a more animated looking game.
Yeah, it's currently on.
Wasn't it a roguelike?
I think so.
That's why I phased it out of my head.
The Rogue
by
Prince of Persia.
By the Dead Cells, whoever did Dead Cells.
Persia's, thank you.
That developer is. Well, geez, they got 3 different developers on here. So, Motion Twin, Play Digious, and Evil Empire. Not sure who actually did that. Trying to see if I can dig in there.
I guess it's just called The Rogue Prince of Persia.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yep.
Is the name of it.
Okay.
So are we going to go in the same order to do spicy pepper and poison pepper?
Yep.
Okay. Then I will say this. Spicy pepper for me will be I want the belt. So spicy pepper, Nintendo Switch successor will retail at $399.99. And my one poison pepper. Golly.
We're doing 2 spices?
We're doing 2 spices. 2 spices.
1 poison?
Yeah.
Okay, my other spicy will be let's see. You know what? Let go big or go home. New Star Fox game.
Nice. All
You
right, who do you
guys
want
do
to put the?
you guys? Well, I was gonna say y'all do your spices, and then it gives me
Yeah,
time to
then we'll come
read through
back
your
for.
list and do the poison pepper.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna go. How about Pokemon Legends ZA? And I'll say the games will be priced at $69.99.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
My 2 is the Switch 2 will have a new gimmick feature no one is expecting. And then EA Play will be an available subscription through NSL. Those are my 2 spicies.
Okay. My first spicy will be that the announcement trailer will be the back half of January. I've been calling that one for a while, so I better be doubling down on that one. And that a new 3D Mario game will come out in October.
Nice.
So remind me of the poison pepper. Is it
You get one to put on the one of the other dads.
If it comes true, then they lose points.
If they're wrong, they lose points.
If they're wrong, they lose points.
If they're wrong,
if they're right, nothing happens.
And we get one each. Is that right?
We each get one to put on a dad, and we were trying to spread it out, not put it all on one person.
So put it all on Tim.
Okay. Here we go. Yeah, I was gonna go for Tim.
Okay.
Poison pepper on Arms 2 will be announced in 2025.
All right. Jesse.
Okay.
And you can put it on me too, still, if you wanted to. That's strategy. I won 2 years in a row.
I was leaning toward your EA Play.
Do it. So if I get that wrong, that means I get negative 2 points. Because I picked it as spicy.
Right.
All right. So for me, let's see. I'm going to put it on Justin's Switch successor release in the first half of May 2025.
Okay.
All right, Justin.
Yeah. I'm going to put the spicy pepper on Marty. Metroid Prime 4 will be the last first-party game on Switch and the first-party game for the Switch 2. I think there'll be another game after Metroid Prime 4 on the original Switch.
Okay.
From Nintendo.
All right. Some spicy stuff going on here.
Spicy stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we have locked in our 2025 predictions. If you're in a part of our Discord, Tim, we're going to post these. Is that correct? Like we did last year, so folks can take a look and vote.
Yep. I will basically copy and paste what we got here into our 2025 predictions channel once that's created. And then what's going to be interesting, though, is I got to keep in mind that if anything comes out, there's the potential of Nintendo announcing some stuff within the next week or two. Normally what I do is give until the end of January for everybody to do their, votes. But I may have to cut it short. So, um, I'm going to try to give 2 weeks, but if things start coming out and start going crazy, I'm going to have to lock it down immediately. So, but I will announce everything in our Discord, and everybody will have a chance to vote immediately. And then I'm going to lock it down pretty quick.
Nice. Love it. Okay. Folks, before we head over to our next session, which will be the timeout, we're going to head over to a ad break from today's sponsor, Manscaped. For some, the New Year's is a clean slate. For others, it's a chance to leave last year's scruff and chaos behind. Enter the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra by Manscaped, your secret weapon for stepping into 2025 looking sharp, clean, and confident. Don't be the guy who rolls into January looking like you just emerged from hibernation. Let the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra and Weed Whacker 2.0 handle our overgrowth so that you can focus on leveling up. Start 2025 with precision, because the only thing that should be growing this year is your success and not your scruff. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Head over to manscaped.com and join over the 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and use our code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. Hey, we at Nintendo Dads HQ, we love Manscaped products. We have been using them for 2.5, 3 years now. We were using them before they sponsored us, which is a testament to the amazing products. These are great products. We use them every single day. We only support or promote or advertise stuff that we genuinely actually use. I love the deodorant. As a fact, I actually need to place an order in the coming days to get some more. The grooming tools keep my stubble nice and trim. Listen, I've said before, if Manscaped had toothpaste and hair wax, I'd be Manscaped all day, all the time. But hey, if you're new and you think you want to try Manscaped, our promo code gets you 20% off and free shipping. Listen, we enjoy the products. We think they're fantastic. We think you will too. Great way to start off your 2025 year by feeling great and looking great. Big thanks to Manscaped for their continued support. Jesse, back to you.
All right, guys, go ahead. I got the timeout here, so I'll just jump right into it. My family got me these new headphones for Christmas, and I just have to brag about them. It's the SteelSeries Nova. I was trying to get the box out here, just so I got the right name. Is SteelSeries, the Arctis Nova Pro wireless headset with the base. Comes with an extra yeah, comes with a big extra battery, so when the battery runs out, I can just swap it out and get right back into doing whatever I need to do. It has 2 USB connections to where I can connect it to my computer setup. I use it for both, my personal computer and my work computer. And then I also have it connected to my PlayStation. And it has the, 3D sound in it and all that kind of stuff. And the biggest thing that I love about it is that it's wireless and I'm able to use it without the wire in the way. And that is the biggest. It's so much more comfortable because I get so irritated by that wire hanging between the microphone and the, and my headphones, and keep hitting it or moving it out of the way. And then if I tried to get up or move somewhere, it'd snag on something, and I don't have to worry about that anymore. I can move around. So I think it's fantastic. And we have reviewed some things for SteelSeries in the past, but this is not sent from them. This was what I got for Christmas for my family. So it's something that's been on my wish list for a long, long time, and they knew that, and that's why I got it for Christmas. So highly recommended it. I also can use the Bluetooth functionality as well to connect it to my phone, so I can get a phone call, answer it, and it doesn't interrupt anything that I'm doing with work or video games or anything like that. So doing the multifunctional thing. So it's really comes in handy. And in the meantime, when I brought up that I got these new headphones, I noticed that Marty had new headphones too. So he's got some cool stuff.
I got new headphones for Christmas because one of the main reasons I wanted new headphones was earbuds do not fit my ears. I'm weird. And I've never been able to find anything, even with like switchable, adjustable, tips or whatever, padding that kind of thing. And so I started doing some research on these AirPod Maxes and then realized I could use them for my podcasting headphones too. So I saved up a little bit of money, and here we go. My mom helped me finish off getting these, and they're fantastic. They're very comfortable. I would usually get done with the show on Thursday nights, and my head, like my ears, would be hurting because even though the headphones I was using were pretty comfortable, they didn't have like the padding was like eroding away because I've been using them for I think 4 years now, 4 or 5 years. So those little $14 headphones did great for all those years, but they were disintegrating. And these are nice and like Tim, they're wireless. So plus they have the noise canceling thing going on. They have three
Yes.
modes. They have off and noise cancellation. They have a transparency mode where it does block some of the stuff, but it also lets you hear more instead of like just being muffled like earmuffs. But
Yes.
I love the noise canceling
That's
for
what I
like
got
when
on
I'm
these too.
working or whatever, just to tune out the extra,
Yeah.
I guess, behind the scenes. But um, I I did catch them on sale, which was like they were $150 off. Um, uh,
Nice.
with the lightning plug, not the USB-C. So that was the only downside. But I was like, if that's the only thing that is the difference, then okay, I'll do a lightning cord. Not a big deal. So yeah. Um yeah, I'm enjoying them so far. I haven't used them all that much, but the more I use them, the more I like them. And the big deal was like going back to the earbuds. Like I had the AirPod Pros that did the noise canceling, but they would always like slip in my ears, so there would be like this drone sound behind
Yeah.
the noise canceling. It would end up hurting my ears after a while. But these have been, I mean, they're covering fully, and they're great. They're fantastic.
Nice. So yeah, that's one of the benefits of the holidays. We got some new gear.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool. Awesome. All right, folks, let's jump in to what we've been playing. We've all been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3. We are going to have a devoted episode in January at some point, or I'll be completely honest, if Nintendo does end up revealing the Switch 2 in the very coming weeks, that may end up kicking our conversation, our dedicated episode about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 into February. We are very much at the whim and the mercy of Nintendo because, as you can imagine, as Nintendo content creators, this is a really important and busy time for us potentially. So we are all playing it. I know we are at various spots. I don't want to talk about where we are necessarily, but Jesse, how many hours or chapter are you on?
I'm like 55-ish hours in chapter 6.
So Jesse's given it the good college try is what he's done, which is great. Tim, how about you?
I believe I checked it was in about 10 or 15 hours in.
Okay.
And deep into chapter 2.
Okay. Awesome. Marty?
I'm still at the beginning of chapter 2. I'm about level 15 or 16. I'm still, I mean, I'm still interested in it. I just have not gotten a lot of time, to play it. There's other games that I've played. Just full disclosure.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, and I'm in chapter 3, kind of. I think about an hour into it, so I'm probably only a couple hours ahead of you, Marty, in relation to that as well. So we are all continuing that progress as well. I've kind of really liked the fact that we're playing a game together and sort of at different experiences. I'm excited to see what this conversation is going to end up looking like, and yeah. Let's talk about what other games we've been playing. Tim, I'm going to head over to you.
So I've been playing a little bit of other things that I've played in the past. Like I've done some Balatro because being sick, I was telling you guys before, it was like it's hard to concentrate on Xenoblade Chronicles every time I kept coughing and get interrupted and or whatever. Um, so I would go in and play other quick games like Balatro. But another game I played that I had found out from Hambo and Johnny, especially during our special dinner table we did during the Christmas break or holiday break. He was playing a game called Ballinaire on Steam, and it's basically a roguelike. What's that ball drop thing again? Where
Pachinko.
Pachinko. Thank you. Yeah, it's a pachinko game, but roguelike pachinko game where you drop a ball and it has to bounce, through the different ways it could go, and but you can add different items throughout the pins that it hits to gain extra money that you're basically trying to collect through the route from the top where you drop it to the bottom. And you have to get a certain amount to finish your run. And there's different stages in your run. And I was doing pretty well in my first try, but then fell short in the last, I think, second to last stage of the run that I was in. But man, was that such an addictive playthrough. It was just watching a video on it and then going in and playing again Ballinaire. It's a game that I hope comes to the Nintendo system, either the Switch or whatever have you, and that maybe the next indie direct that we get or an indie showcase, maybe it'll come there. But again, it's a quick, kind of in the same mindset of Balatro, where it's a quick, poker type game. This is a different take on it, where you're obviously trying to get as much money as possible to get through the different stages where you have to. I forget. I've only played it a couple times, so I'm not remembering the characters or bosses you have to beat in those stages, but they're dollar amounts that you have to win in order to beat that level and move on. So again, I do hope it comes to the Switch. I think it'll be a good one to quick play. So that's what I've been playing besides Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Nice. Jesse, anything on your list? Doesn't look like it. No, you good?
I haven't been playing anything, but I did want to do a call out for a game on Steam that I bought but haven't played yet. Just so if it's like a Doki Doki Literature Club like. So if anyone else wants to give it a try, don't watch any videos on it. Just buy it, play it, and we'll talk about it later. But it's called Tsunagari Chess School.
I remember you talking about that in Discord.
It's normally $5. It's on sale until the 13th for $1 off. So you can go buy it for $4 right now.
Okay. Awesome.
So that's Tsunagari, Tsunagari Chess School.
That's another one that should come to the Switch.
Marty.
So, over the holidays, I just got a craving to play some old Super Nintendo games. So I've been started and finished Donkey Kong Country 2, and really had a good time with that. Didn't 100% it or anything, but I didn't back in the day either. But I would like to go back and do that now. And then from there I started playing Yoshi's Island, Super Mario Land or Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. And it's still like I'm blown away by that game, by how good it looks today, like just that art style and everything. And it's so much fun. And it's been a while. I realized it's been a good while since I went through that game. So I'm enjoying that, having fun with it. But I also Justin, I don't know that we've gotten to talk about this since the show. Like I've missed when you're on, and
yep.
We had the kind of hiatus there. But I am already level 82 in this season of Fortnite.
Hey.
And I'm in
You're
deep. So what are you liking this? Are you what do you think about this season?
Yeah, I'm on level 63.
Okay.
That would not be necessarily reflective of how much I have played. And so what I mean by that is that occasionally, I think I've said before, we'll have like a friend, they'll bring their the son over, and then he grabs my Switch and like levels me up by like 8 levels every time he plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the season. Yeah, like it yeah, I've been enjoying it for sure. But it's not like I feel like I have to go back every day and grind and get everything. They do a very good job, obviously, during the holiday break to incentivize you, right, with the parcels. I
Hmm.
didn't particularly care for Mariah Carey or Snoop Dogg showing up, but it is what it is. Um, but yeah, I'm listen. I still enjoy it a lot. I've been playing. I was playing a little bit of Marvel Rivals as well, so that's taken away from a little bit of my time with Fortnite. But yeah, it's good. Good season. I like it. I'm getting
I
close to
did
getting
pick up
the Baymax.
I picked up the Darth Vader samurai and the Stormtrooper samurai when I saw
Oh,
that.
they're so good.
I had to get those.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The Samurai Vader is just too good. But yeah, that's where I've been spending my time.
Very cool. Awesome. For myself, I finished Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door over the holiday break. I put in 14 hours into that game to finish it. I was like 2 stars away. It should only take me a couple hours and I'll be done the game. And that game is not like that at all. And at the end, I was just felt like I was just bulldozing through to get through it. And so that became sort of annoying and frustrating. But I've had that experience now, and I don't need to do it again. So yeah, that was kind of good. Played some Fortnite over the season. I got a new actually iPhone 16. Upgraded from my iPhone 11. I got a Plus as well. So I've been doing a little bit of like mobile gaming, and shockingly enough, because I have Apple Arcade and I have before, but I just never did a lot of it on my phone. I've been playing Baltro on
Okay.
and I already have it on the Switch. I have it like on all the other consoles, but I'm like, oh, just play it on my phone. I'm doing a lot of it on my phone. I'll be honest with you.
I
And
didn't realize that was Apple Arcade.
Yeah, it's a free on Apple Arcade. So I was like, and done. And then the other one I've been playing is Vampire Survivor, which was a
That's
game I
another good
didn't
one.
pick. I didn't pick up on the Switch, but I'm like, well, this is fun for like one kind of hand, and so this is great. Yeah, and so those are games that I've been playing. Looking forward, next week Donkey Kong Country comes out, so excited about that. The other game that's coming out that actually I pre-ordered because it's available in the eShop right now is Blade Chimera. And Tim, this was a game you were really excited about when it was released or announced, and so I've
Yes.
got that on my docket to play soon. And I will also tell this group that you can look for coverage of Citizen Sleeper 2 at the end of January because I'm doing a review of that as well. So lots of games kind of coming up in the next couple of weeks as we continue to plot out our year as well.
Thanks for letting me know it's available to
Yeah, it's a
pre-order.
pre-order. Get 10% off right now, actually.
Yep.
So I was
Guess
like,
what I'm gonna do?
yeah, and actually another game I picked up over the holiday break, actually, thanks to our Secret Santas, or our Dads After Dark secret people, is I actually picked up Okami HD following the Game Awards because it was on sale for 75% off. It was
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I did the
$5.
same, and I forgot to mention that I've been playing that. Beat the first big boss actually.
Nice. So
How do you like it?
I haven't even played it yet. It has always been on my wish list. I was like, it's $11. I don't know, but then I was like, okay, it's not going to get lower than 75% off. I'm just gonna pick it up and add it to the backlog. So it's literally sitting right beside my copy of Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake that Nintendo was so kind as to provide us a copy for. That I haven't started yet either. So my backlog continues to get deeper. I was playing I was playing Nine Souls this over the break a little bit as well. So
Hmm.
yeah. Um, Speaking of like, I'm gonna have like, what is the section we have where it's like grinds our gears or dad moment or timeout? It's timeout. I know it was
Yeah.
timeout. I'm gonna add something because I was just remembered it because I had to pick up my Switch here. Um, so this Switch is an OLED Switch. It is the Switch in my office. It's primarily like it's my gaming one, right?
Yes.
This is where I do my gaming. This is one that travels with me. The other one is for the house. And a couple of days ago, we were playing Mario Party upstairs, and we did not have enough charged Joy Cons. So I said, I will go downstairs and I will grab the white Joy-Cons. The white Joy-Cons. And we will distribute them, right? Connect it to the old Switch, boom, boom, distribute them. And I hand them to my youngest daughter. We're all having a great time. I then go after the game is done. I like to clean up, right? Pick up the Joy-Cons. We've got a dog, right? Last thing I need is a dog to jump on stuff. And I go to grab her Joy-Con. And what I didn't realize is that in between her matches of Mario Party, like when she was waiting for her turns, she was painting her nails.
Oh.
And got paint all on her fingers. And then proceeded to put her fingers all over the white Joy-Con. And she was painting her fingernails blue. And so the Joy-Con was stained blue. And I was like, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, I'm fine. I will go get like a wipe and I will wipe it all off. No, it didn't come off. And then I was like, well, why don't you go grab nail polish remover and try and get it? And that also did not take it off. So you probably can't see it. This Joy-Con has a tinge of blue around the face buttons and over there. And it is
special edition.
And the worst part is, like, when you hold the Switch like this, right? You can feel all the smoothness over here. This is sticky. This is sticky and gross. And I can't make it not be sticky and gross. And it's fine. I'm fine. It's fine. It's not fine. I was really frustrated because these are also the only Joy-Cons in our house that don't have Joy-Con drift. Yeah. So that is my dad moment of frustration. And here's the other thing. She didn't really seem to care much. And I was like, you need to go clean those. I was like, you were painting your fingernails and this is blue on it now. Yeah, sorry. And I was like, the level of sorry that you're giving me to what I should be receiving, there seems to be a disparity in the difference here.
Right.
So I was a good dad. But I was like, you need to go. And like, I had to tell her like 3 times, like, you need to go clean that. You need to go. And it took her a couple days to go do it. And because it took her a couple daily to go do it, now the stickiness definitely won't come
baked
off.
on.
It's baked on now. And so I don't know how to resolve that. I don't think I can resolve that. I may have to just go buy new Joy-Cons, but I really like the white Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole aesthetic.
Yeah, I don't think you could buy white.
No, sure can.
Well,
Jesse.
Did you check to see if maybe they have refurbished ones in the Nintendo store?
I did not check that yet. But then I'm like, am I just being too particular? And also, like,
say no. That's perfectly fair for you to want to have Joy-Con that are comfortable to use.
Right? And I'm like, also in all fairness, in like 6 weeks from now, this could be a moot point because we have brand new Switch. But I'll still have the OLED. But I'll still be using, like, the new Switch would probably stay here, and the OLED would. I'm not mad.
eBay has white Joy-Cons for $45.
Really? I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Each or for the set?
No, for the set. And maybe they are, maybe they're not real, but they would be real for you. And that would be your kind of thing is like, yeah, they may be, it may be a totally moot point because the new Switch is coming out soon, but at least you would have white Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I'm looking on eBay right now in Canada, and they're 75 to 170.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, I got one here that says the right is working, but it says read about it, and it ships from the US.
Well, a pre-owned Nintendo Switch Joy-Con here at GameStop is $33.24 for pros.
You know what? That's a great point. Is I should go actually look at GameStop and see if a local one might have an extra.
Now that's a left Joy-Con.
Yeah.
You also did have to track down the right.
And I know it didn't. I know it shouldn't bother me, and I know that but it just made me twitch.
There's a certain level that you're using it. It's considered yours, if I understood correctly.
Yep.
The one you use. So, and you have a certain level of how you take care of your things. So it's understandable. And you handled it as best. It sounded like you handled it well for that level of expectancy that you have for your stuff. You were disappointed.
White is white. The right white one is also in stock on GameStop.com.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
Go ahead, Tim. Sorry, no.
No, I was just gonna say I had a similar experience, but with one of my amiibos, where I let Sammy use the Pichu amiibo.
Yep.
Because that was his favorite. He liked it, and so I let him. Was like, okay, take care of it. You can use it, but keep it. Don't. It will break if you don't take care of it. Sure enough, he broke it.
Yep.
And I can't find that Pichu anywhere yet. So some glue probably would be fine, but it's just one of those things, like you said. It's like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. I'll just put it away and maybe get it glued.
And listen, if there was just like a little tinge of blue on it, I wouldn't oddly enough, fine. But okay, it's actually the stickiness. It's the stickiness.
Right.
Sticky, yeah.
I would probably agree with you.
The back of it, where when I touch the Joy-Con in the back, it's all smooth on the left-hand side, and now it's sticky, and then I'm like, kids are gross. Why? Why are you so gross?
They do have those rubber skins you can put on over those too.
You're 14 years old. Come on.
I would always make my son, like, if he'd been eating chips or something greasy and he wanted it, he was like, I'm going to play this. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah. No.
Not until you go wash your hands.
Right.
And get all that grease off.
Yeah.
And then you can touch the controller. Because, I didn't want this, greasy smeared Pro controller.
That's one of the reasons why I was pretty adamant about, if I give you your own system, you are not using mine.
Yeah.
So, going back to the DS Lite era, is all the kids had a DS, all the kids had a 3DS at one point, all the kids had a Switch at one point. They never touched mine unless they specifically asked me for it for a specific reason. Like Matthew will sometimes borrow it for a Pokemon trade just because he's got a bunch of Pokemon stuff going on. But he also owns like 6 3DSs by himself. So he really doesn't need mine much.
I could have given her any other of the Joy-Cons, and I wouldn't be upset about it. But I just happened to give her that one, and I just click. Well,
so you were disappointed that it didn't turn out the way you were hoping. Probably that's probably where it really irks, right?
And a lot of her just nonchalant of whatever, and I'm like, no,
it's just a Joy-Con.
I was like, are you kidding me right now?
Well, she doesn't know how much those things cost.
Right.
Well,
or how non-replaceable they are.
Yeah.
That's the part that's the hardest part to explain is I'm letting you use something that's hard to replace.
Yeah.
Please understand that.
In some ways, because we've got the grays from the original, and we've got some of the other color combinations, and if it was those, I would have been 100% fine. Okay, that's weird and sticky. I'll just go to Costco and buy another set, and we're fine, right? I'm done. That's fine. But the fact that they're the white ones,
that you can only get with the OLED system.
You can't buy those separately,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and so that to me just gnaws at me. Of I can't buy those separately, so they're limited edition in those ways. They're not easily replaceable, and it will cost me more money to figure that problem out. But then I'm like, that's such a first world problem for something that is literally docked probably 40 months of the year or 40 weeks of the year, right? So
makes sense,
folks. Are we done? I think we're done.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. No questions in the community spotlight, but I do have a question to ask you guys on behalf of the community.
Sure.
So let's go to the community spotlight.
Do it.
So on and off throughout the holidays during our break, there's been a huge discussion around the lack of Nintendo, let's say, certification or viewing or reviewing, just allowing anything on their eShop. Just the tons and tons of stuff, and it's becoming more and more of a problem. We even had a news article come up during our time off that came up where, or I think we might have mentioned it briefly.
Unpacked.
The Unpacked game, where another developer decided to make a clone and call it Unpacked Deluxe or something like that.
Yeah.
And Nintendo didn't catch it right away, and it was out for a bit before they actually took it down.
And it was the original developers of Unpacked that got their attention.
I had to bring, I had to bring it up to them, and it was brought up in the news articles. It was brought up outside of things, probably because they brought it to Nintendo's attention, but they weren't doing anything in a timely fashion. So then it got out in the news and all that kind of stuff. I don't think we talked about it enough, and I know we talked about it briefly before in certain cases, but I think that is one of the upgrades, if you will, I think Nintendo needs to have for the Switch 2 is a better handling of digital content in their shop. I know we've talked about the eShop being better in general, better display, better, more fun, if you will, not slow, but and especially when searching for things or whatever. But I think Nintendo really needs to look at how they manage the content there, and maybe it's just a matter of, hey, we're going to get our 30%. We don't care. But there's got to be a better way, especially if they bring back, I mean, everybody knows what the Nintendo seal of approval is. What if they start putting that on things? They could put all the content they want in there, but then there's a certain amount of things that get that Nintendo seal of approval.
Back in the NES days, the seal of approval is their fancy term for licensing. But Nintendo had a limit of 5 games per company to publish, which is why you have companies like Konami spinning off another company called Ultra Games, and they can get 5 more games out in a year. I would not be opposed to limits like that again. If you are registered as a publisher, whether you're a company or a self-contributor, you've got, there's a limit. You're not. We don't want to see 20 of the same hentai puzzle games come out in a year.
I think what you need to begin to do is to understand, like, what are your qualifications to not be approved onto the shop, and I think be more stringent on that, because I do think, like, what we don't want to begin to do is to police opportunity and quality in relation to this is a AAA game versus this is actually a person who literally built this all on their own. And it's their first game, and they're they're selling it for 99 cents, right, or whatever it is, and it can be its own experience, its own level of art, and so we don't want to do that. But I think we have to look at, like, what are the red flags or the qualifications that it has to ensure that it is doing, right?
Yeah.
So it has to ensure that when it's uploaded, it's not broken. It actually runs, right? Let's start with step number 1. Step number 2 is that their content approval in relation to what is shown, and I think Nintendo has, I think especially with some of the anime games and some of the books, got a little bit look, it's water guns and waifus. Okay, so our ratings, but at the same time, are we policing ratings? Right? Like, So are there certain things or pieces of content that we do not want on our marketplace? And it feels like Nintendo is pretty open. I don't know what they're like, we won't have that on our marketplace. And so ultimately it looks like that's pretty open. It looks like quality doesn't particularly matter. But I think in this case it's the infringement of an IP. My argument would be, does the unpacking folks, yeah, like, yes, it is similar, right? There's no doubt about it, and they're doing it, but like, what's really stopping the unpacking deluxe team from doing that? Is that Nintendo who should be stopping them from doing that, or should it actually be the unpacking dev team who are putting an injunction in relation to, proprietary,
I think if they called it
series?
something else, it wouldn't have even been a problem. It's just the fact that they're used the name. That's copyright.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there's got to be some kind of way to also stop all of the endless upload, re-uploading it, pushing it to the top of the eShop like Knights and Guns, and that's the one I always come back to, is like that developer does it for all of their titles, and it's like, how many times, like, they've had Platinum Edition, Legendary Edition, Game of the Year Edition, Legendary Edition, blah 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 blah, on, and it's just the same game
Right. Which is,
over and over
if
and over.
they were limited to so many per year, yeah, you still might get some of that, but you're not going to get 30 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
maybe there's a trust factor there too, where if you've published with Nintendo for so long, then you get more access to publishing more games. So, but if you're a year one publisher, then you got a little bit more limitations.
Yeah. I also think
I think the Knights and Bikes is an interesting scenario, Marty, which is, I sort of like, actually in some ways disagree, which is, you are the advocate for your own art, for the thing that you've created. And so you want to get it. That's part of your campaign, is to get in front of as many people's eyes as possible. So if you know that the way to kind of trick the algorithm or trick the system is to republish, redistribute, rename, rebrand it, and it puts you back up, and every time you do that, it generates X amount of purchases. That's sort of capitalism, right? Like, that's sort of the rules of the game. And so I think Nintendo is sort of at a really hard spot in regards to how do you police that effectively. But the other part of it is, how many games are hitting the eShop every single week that you'd have to have resources to be able to do that, and assuming that nobody's like, wait a second, this game is very similar to that game, right? Well, where's the you don't have just one single QA
comparing
person
against 8,000 other games.
Yeah, right.
There's no way for anyone to know all that. So what I'm thinking is, I'm presuming that they are still keeping the dev kits under a tight leash. So it isn't as widely, for Switch 2. So I think at launch, I think there will be a slow feed, kind of like what we saw when the Switch originally launched. It was a slow drip of no more than 5 games a week. But at some point, there will be a time, probably when they stop accepting Switch game submissions, when then they're going to open the floodgates for the Switch 2 submissions.
I think, Jesse, I think you're right. I think it'll be slow to start off with, but I think that ramp up period will be exponentially quicker, because I think everyone will say, like, wow, look at how big of a success the Switch was. I am not waiting. I am not holding my breath. I am getting on that market now. And I am porting every single thing that I have ever done into that marketplace as quickly as I can. Like, that eShop, you think the eShop is bad now? Ladies and gentlemen, 12 months from now with the Switch 2, y'all going to be drowning in like horrid remakes from the last 9 years in anything. It'll freaking look like the App Store did when like iOS finally came online. Like, it was just everything.
That's the thing, is where I think I'm hoping, or I'm hoping, trying to think with the business hat, if you will, that there is a problem. What is the root cause? Who can we work with that has experience with this, that could give us advice, if I'm Nintendo, do they work with Apple or Google or those type of
not
companies?
Gabe Newell, because he's got a worse problem.
Yeah.
But I think you'd have to identify, first, and Tim, I would argue with the following statement, which is, does Nintendo see it as a problem? Right.
If they're, I think it becomes a problem if more and more people, because it's starting to escalate. More and more people are starting to complain about it. You got 160 million people who potentially use that eShop.
Yeah.
And if you want them to come back to Switch 2, it's going to use the same eShop probably. But how are you going to improve upon it? Just like Apple or Google or any of those companies who have an app store improve on it all the time.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen in 8 years any improvement on the eShop.
Yeah. I mean, I think the statement would be, again, Mike's statement being like, does Nintendo see it as a problem in relation to dedicating resources to resolve it? Or ultimately they're like, listen, we're still getting a schwack ton of money because of our revenue cuts off this. So it's not really a problem that we really see, other than there are the occasional complaints and we have to go resolve that way. But other than that, like, y'all
not
are
even
still
the
buying,
potential escalation
you
of
all
this
are,
getting.
it would have to get escalated. I think like a big company would have to, like, all of a sudden it's like, I think you'd have to have like a Ubisoft or an Xbox or someone who's like, this is an issue, this is a problem, and we're not coming onto your platform because you can't manage that effectively. And I would actually probably argue Nintendo's statement would probably be, PS, we don't need you on our platform. We have the plumber. We actually don't need you. So if you want to come and you like, I think it's publishers and developers are sort of like, this is the road that we like. This road is bumpy. It's poorly driven on. It's potholes everywhere. But like, that's how we get to the mansion at the top of the hill. So we're gonna do it, and they don't actually have to pave because, by the way, everybody's lining up to get on that road. Do you know what I mean? And PS, they're still getting the cut of the money. So so this is ultimately the question of like, does Nintendo actually see this as a problem? I think in the 8 years that we've been here, no, they don't, because they'd be raking in the Scrooge McDuck amount of money for it.
Yeah.
We as consumers, we as clients believe it's a problem, right? And I get that for sure, but I don't think from the business side of it they probably really care.
Okay. So right
That's
now,
my perspective, but
the smaller developers who are having a harder time getting their games to the front end, or in people's eyes or hands, is not loud enough yet, because it's not enough, as opposed to the AAA developers who, if they were to come to say, hey, our game isn't being shown enough, that's not a problem, because we know that's not a problem. That those AAA games end up showing up on a new release list, or it's shown.
Yeah, it's getting all the publicity. Someone's doing a let's play of it. Someone's like, and that's why in a lot of ways, and I'll use sort of the Nintendo Dad's background as a bit of perspective. Like, we get a lot of code sent to us from developers of games that you would not probably know are on the eShop. Right, we are blessed to get other like major release titles, but like games that are like, this is $6 on the eShop of a 2-person team, and they have no publicity and promotion and no advertisement. So please, could somebody play my game to get maybe some advertisement on it? Because when I go to put it on the Nintendo Switch eShop, you will never know it's there unless you're actively looking for it. Right, and so whereas opposed to like, oh, Final Fantasy VII or whatever's here, that will actively get an IGN review. That will get a conversation at Kind of Funny, GameSpot, whatever it is, that will actually draw eyes and revenues to actions to the eShop. Whereas smaller developers, unless you have an indie hit, right, that has busted out like
Balatro.
Like Balatro, then and that was word of mouth. Balatro was word of mouth, right? And so
apparently that was out on Steam for a bit, and it got picked up by the right streamers, and then it blew up.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Among Us, right? It was it'd been set out there, a bunch of streamers happen to pick it up, right? And it was just buried under the amounts of stuff in all the shops. My statement here is the following: I don't believe it's right, Tim, and I believe they need to do something about it, but I don't believe from a business perspective they're incentivized to do anything about it.
Right, that makes sense. All right. That's it. That was the main topic for the community.
CSAT versus revenue.
Yeah, right. All right, folks. Well, let's start rounding it out. Listen, here's kind of our strategy for the next several weeks, and just to kind of give folks a little bit of a plan of where we are going. Next week, it's actually going to be our Game of the Year discussion. What? That's right. We haven't had that conversation. We're going to share with you what our Game of the Year is, and if you're part of the Nintendo Dads community, we want to know what your Game of the Year is as well. I think, Jesse, you're going to have an Excel document or something in
Yep,
Discord.
I've been updating it as I get information in. In fact, we almost had that conversation today, but then with all the leaks, we're like, no, we need to get predictions
100%.
in first.
Yeah, 100%. So we're going to be doing that at some point in the coming weeks. Suspect Nintendo will have their big presentation. We will try as much as we know in advance to be able to, if we can, live stream it. If not, do an emergency show, do a reaction afterwards. Most likely a lot of our conversation will be around that event, all the fallout that comes from it. So in the next several weeks, anticipate a fair amount of content likely from us and maybe last minute. But again, we've got our Game of the Year discussion that's going to be coming up. We're going to have some Nintendo Switch coverage that's going to be coming up. We are going to be doing our Xenoblade Chronicles 3 conversation, whether it's going to be January or February based on what Nintendo does. We don't really know, but we will let you know. So if you're still playing, continue to play as we are, and we'll eventually have that conversation as well. We've also got some financial numbers come out here in February, which we're always interested in. Lots of great content. We suspect there's going to be a Nintendo Direct probably in February as well. So lots of great, again, if you are a new Nintendo fan or you're new to Nintendo Dads, welcome. This is the time to be jumping on board because this is exciting times as Nintendo content creators and hopefully coming along on this journey with us as well. We're excited about 2025. Lots of great things coming up and lots of games. And again, a great time to be a Nintendo fan. We're going to close off the night. Big thanks to Jesse, Tim, and Marty for their time today. A huge thank you to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberg, Jacqueline Mira, and our over 100 patrons. Thank you so much for your continued support. Big thanks to our Twitch subscribers as well. Hey, if you have Amazon Prime, you've got Twitch Prime, don't give that money to Jeff Bezos. We could actually use that money. That actually helps us keep our mics and our lights on. So big thanks if you could do that. So thanks to our 1,456 Twitch followers. Big shout out to our 7,849 YouTube subscribers as well. Thank you for watching our videos. Thank you for sharing them. Thank you for commenting. We greatly appreciate it. Hey, if you're looking for all the Nintendo Dads information you want, head over to our website. That's nintendodads.org, where you can find a list of our family of podcasts or recommendations for podcasts such as Star Wars Dads, Dads Crossing, Retro Logic, and our family and their family of podcasts. You can also find our latest YouTube videos, tweets. You can find us on social media, which is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on Blue Sky, Threads. We've got TikTok. We've got clips on YouTube, Patreon. You can go there. And hey, if you're thinking about picking up some great stuff this year, maybe start your year off with some new Nintendo Dads merch. That is available for you as well. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this show, big thanks to Manscaped. And that promo code is NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. Hey, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at nintendodads@gmail.com, or you can leave us a voicemail, 929-25NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music played throughout the show. If you're listening to us on one of your amazing podcast catchers of choice, whether it's Apple Music or Spotify, please consider giving us a 5-star review. That helps us get in more people's ear holes. And if we're in more people's ear holes, that's good for everybody. And we would greatly appreciate that. So if you just say, like, this is something I'm going to do that's going to be kind this week, 5 stars helps us get discovered. For myself, Jesse, Tim, and Marty, happy 2025. Thanks for joining us. Buckle in, ladies and gentlemen. We're here and we're excited for our new 2025 Nintendo Switch year, and we want you to join us. Have a great week. Talk soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
Do you know who I am?
Nintendo Dads Podcast.